Yeah, love it. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I remember speedrunning this game. Like, it really does just give a fresh new take to this very, very old game. So it's
And the hacks that
yeah,
exist,
definitely.
you can run with the hammer, you can skip flippers, you can do all sorts of stuff. It's magical.
Yeah,
Um,
so that comes from the fact that we used the Japanese 1.0 ROM for this randomizer. There are some things that can only happen on Japanese 1.0, like that fake flipper thing that you mentioned, and item dashing, and some other stuff that we may be able to see. We'll get these synced up for you in a bit once Varoo gets going.
I assume we have diverse ranges of skill and players. I imagine we have diverse knowledge of people watching, so we'll try to diversify between Sean and I. In combination, we'll have info for the new and the old. How about that?
Okay, well, it looks like we have about a 45-second difference here, which is a little too much to resync for a restream. So I think we're gonna have to roll with this for a little bit
We don't
while
pause. Okay.
it's so you can pause one of the videos, but VLC gets mad at you if you pause it for too long, and then it crashes everything.
I was also
So
for like the
we'll
first month I was watching this. I was like, why is the runner on the left just frozen for 10 seconds? But now I know.
all right. So we get divergence right away. We get an uncle start uh,
Lamp.
from one
That
side
is,
and
even
a
if you know dark rooms, it is really nice to find the lamp early just to know you don't have to.
right. And with an assured sword, like in a regular seed without an assured sword, I usually like the uncle start. But with when you have that weapon, you're kind of you're kind of priced into just doing front of escape, which I think Varoo is gonna do here.
You told me
Yeah.
there's some statistically higher chance that Ag is required with the assured start, right? And so this is just smart for that reason only.
Yeah, so you need 4 items to get, or you need 3 items to clear Agate Tower. You need a sword, you need the lamp, and you need either another sword or the cape. When you already start with one of those items, it's gonna boost the chances that Aga is gonna be required.
And we found lamp in sphere 1, so wink wink.
Yeah, so that's gonna put Dark Cross in logic, as well as just get us that much closer to clearing Agate Tower. We do have a bottling cack, which is fun. So that's part of the advantage of the Uncle Start is that you're looking for one of those 4 bottles, but when one's just sitting in CAC, that just completely takes that advantage away.
Yeah, raise your hand if you've not gotten a bottle in CAC, been like, I'm gonna come back to the sick kid when I get one, and then 2 hours in, you're like, what am I? I guess the tracker eliminates those concerns now, but I haven't started. I didn't use a tracker till recently, so it's like where? It's like, oh, you never went to sick kid because you found a bottle 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't have enough hands to raise. Everybody does that at some point.
Everyone's raising their hand. We can't look at you. We can't see you, but we know your hands are raised.
All right, so we're a little better synced up. What was that? That was Blue Mail. Okay.
Well, we got more protection, more money,
So we have
more life.
we have Link on one side, and I believe that's Monkey D. Luffy on the other side. So do you think Luffy's stretching ability is an advantage over Link?
I mean, IRL is a different story than Sprite occupying. So I'll defer to you, I suppose, for the.
All right, so we got a red cane from the salesman here. Uh, that's another one of those things that you never really pay attention to it when you get it early, but it's nice to not have to find it because it really only blocks like 7 checks outside of GT.
Nice to have in your back pocket when you go for icebreaker and for if you want to shave some time off your swamp palace. And yeah, of course you don't want to enter GT without it, lest you throw a coin down a wishing well. But so yeah,
We
nice to
don't
get.
have we don't have to do that in rando. The bombs and arrows are just there.
Touche.
Look, I think I'm funny, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I was allowing people to laugh.
All right, so we got Malchior's pretty far into the cat clear here. I wonder what they're looking at doing next. So what's your usual first move after Kakariko?
After Kakariko, I would say 80% of the time I'll go on South Shore, and then choosing one of the directions after Mini Moldorm, usually Ice Rod Cave and pray I have money for Zora, and if not, I still might fake Flipper and do those water checks, but if I got a bow right here, I would be extremely tempted to do Saha and Eastern, but I mean, we're a glove away from having a lot more opened up, but I'm guessing South Shore is going to be the play of at least one of these two runners, right?
Yeah, I would expect that Malchior goes down to Mini Moldorm Cave. It's a popular thing to do the dam and then Mini Moldorm Cave. I don't really like that play because it isolates Agina forever, but some people don't really want to go to the smelly fart guy.
Well, I
But
remember, I
we
think,
are
yeah, go ahead.
we are headed toward escape.
Well, first of many drum rolls.
Right, so we're kind of walking in each other's tracks for a little bit.
As is inevitable in a rando race, especially early till we get some major progression and some choices.
So, Dr. John, you are a mentee in this tournament, and you just had your first race, I believe, Friday night.
That's right. Yep. Minty as a racer and as a commentator, but I'm 0-1, but as happy as a 0-1 racer can be.
Yeah, and what's the most fun thing that you've learned so far?
Hmm. That's an excellent question. I would say I've learned a lot since the race started. I mean, GT climb and many of the glitches that I had put off, like Icebreaker, and the splash deletion up near Zora. I've learned. So, I mean, fun, I would say, would be all the glitches that have helped improve time, but also just impressed with the community and the welcoming nature that everyone has, and no one really seems to care what your skill level is. And I love that the objective of the tournament is in no way, shape, or form really about the winner. It's about having fun and learning anything, whether that be glitches or just how to move diagonally, or learning for the first time that boots make you go faster than not having boots. I mean, whatever it is, as long as you're learning something, that's why we're here. So, yeah.
Yeah, Gomo Podcast really does have a great community for that. And Link to the Past in general has a pretty welcoming community. I mean, we just want to play. Like you said, we don't really care that much about skill levels or whatever. We just want to play.
Having said that, I think everyone that signed up is competitive to some degree, and so I'm guessing no one wants to go into a race and hope they lose. So I do still appreciate the competition involved, as I'm guessing all these racers do. And these guys are going as fast as they possibly can to get to the end. And so um, here we go with Moldorm. I mean, this is usually an early treasure trove, or you make $20 and 2 arrows, and you walk out sad. But we'll see what we got here. Nice to be able to
All
do
right.
those balance strats in Mini Moldorm.
Yeah, it really is. It's even better when you're on Restream and you hit both of the Mini Moldorms on the left side with only one bomb. Oh, baby, we got a cape. Okay.
Nice.
Uh,
Aga.
well, it is looking like Aga, but I think we want to try and dig up a Moon Pearl first.
I mean, it's too early for predictions, right? I mean, Moon Pearl on Pyramid. I'm not going to say it yet, but
Nah, it's never
I didn't
too
say it
early
right
for
then. Even though the words
predictions.
come out of my mouth, I didn't say it yet.
Never too early for predictions.
Sure. I mean, you wouldn't get boots on Trinex at 2 hours in a Minty Week 1 race, would you?
Oh, never. I
that
I
happened
don't
to
think
me.
it's
That happened
possible,
to me 2 nights
honestly.
ago.
Oh, did it? I see. I see.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, so Varoo doing something a little cool here. Do you know what this is?
Some advanced tech is not trying to Houlihan, is he?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
All right. So what he needed to do there was enter the cave first, to lock the camera up as high as it can go, and then use the jumps into the water to offset the camera, and then that would have put him in the Holy Hand room. But just slightly something going wrong there, which it's fine.
For the few of you that don't know what the Houlihan room is, that's the room, of course, that you probably landed in accidentally as a kid, and it had, how much money is it? 200 bucks?
225.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, free money, and then you leave, and you're like, what just happened? And then you move on, and you question reality. But now we can just get there intentionally in a couple different places, and that's what was going on there.
Yeah, so we saw Malchior on the left side set up for a fake flipper. How that works is if Link jumps into water, normally he will splash and the game will kick him out of the water because he doesn't have the Zora's flippers. But if you transition the screen one frame after Link lands in the water, the game just says, okay, we saw your papers, you can go through.
Sure. But Sean, he's out of the water now. How is he going to get back in the water?
Well, he's gonna do a fake flipper again. Well, he's gonna save and quit.
Thanks,
But you
Malchior.
can,
Thank you.
but you can do another fake flipper from that Man Under the Bridge screen.
There's a perfect tile to the right of the fire that if you jump off the cliff there, you land at the screen transition. A great early glitch to learn for new rando runners.
Yeah, so pixel perfect is technically correct, but that pixel is not as hard as that phrasing would seem.
Right. There's a thing that juts out that kind of you can feel with your controller that tells you that you're at the right spot.
Varoo went to Mini Moldorm Cave and looked like he was maybe headed toward the Dim and Gina, but I think his mentor maybe rerouted a little bit. It's not really easy to ever get to Ice Rod Cave, and it's a Sphere Zero check. You should just kind of go do it whenever you're close by.
Should we mention, would that be a good time, Sean, to mention I know they did a map check. Looks like we got Pendant Eastern with a red crystal on Desert.
Yeah, so we did see Green Pendant Eastern. I wonder if that's what Malchior wants to do, because when Eastern's a pendant, normally you want to dip in there, get whatever's in there, and then never go there again.
It's a little nerve-wracking not having the bow, because it'd just be so nice to just beat the boss in case Saha's got your progression, but, I mean, we're not that lucky maybe this early.
Yeah, so remember, Malchior went to Uncle and then dipped. He did not do the entire escape sequence, so he still has that left, and also the Eastern play. Ooh, Varoo doing a nice setup here. So if you actually take damage, damage will never transition the screen, but it will put Link on the last pixel before the screen transition and make that fake flipper setup a lot easier. So we do find a flute here.
What? Oh, found the flute. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we found
Wow.
the flute in the cannonball chest in Eastern. I almost want to just leave after that.
Yeah, and just go to. I mean, I guess you can't check Death Mountain other than Old Man and the Spectacle Rock checks.
I guess that's true. So there's 2 checks left in here, 2 checks up on the mountain. So I guess staying here is fine.
I mean, finding the bow in the next 2 chests would be the dream, but everyone would sign on the dotted line for a flute in Pendant Eastern. The fact that it's a green pendant instead of a blue or red makes it a little more enticing, so it's extremely unlikely that Varoo will miss that for too long, I would guess. But
yeah, so I do want to give a quick shout out. Having that little sparkle beside the green pendant to mark it as the green pendant to us colorblind people is incredible, and the little letters on the potions is amazing as well.
Are you the traditional red-green colorblind, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, I'm the basic form of colorblind.
Those are 2 of the 4 primary colors of this game.
There are dozens of us. Dozens.
Your chromosomes have betrayed you, or is it your eye receptors or something? I should know.
I'm
the quote-unquote.
I mean, I do wear glasses. I did not get the genes for good vision.
You will not be
As we
getting any dark rooms, Sean, unfortunately. So you and your clinical blindness or whatever will not have to look through anything in the dark.
thank you. Yes, that's going to be a big help. We are getting an Agena check, and we did pick up a book somewhere. So I wonder if this is also a desert dip.
Is Agena the most one-off location that if you don't check it, it has progression, and if you do, it's a green rupee? Of all the one-off checks, I feel like it's the most heavily weighted toward that fate.
Yeah, there's a few of those like Spike Cave, Graveyard Ledge. Catfish usually is
Daenerys.
fine.
That's actually a pretty good find for an early Agena check in my experience. Hook
Ooh,
shot,
there's
okay.
there's the hook shot. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Malchior, I think, was looking to Death Warp to get to the front of the dungeon, but I think that was some mentor interference there, saying nope, save
Yeah,
and quit, go activate your flute.
activate your flute and go to Death Mountain, you fool.
Yeah. So we now know that Varoo is on a not great path here, but if they're able to clear desert, yeah, that's still pretty ugly if they're able to clear desert. Although it would require them finding a glove, so that might be good.
I mean, if big key is on torch and the small key just leads to nothing, then Varoo's gonna feel behind.
Yeah, so if either of the keys are on the torch, then we're just straight up boot locked in here, which is probably better for Varoo than than not. All right, so we're boot locked. So basically, there's one chest that's available without the boots, and it's that one, and it has to have either a small key or a big key for us to not be boot locked in this dungeon.
So I didn't know that. So if the torch has the small key, that chest right there that they just opened can't contain the big key.
Not necessarily. Both keys can be in both locations, but Lamolas are locked by both keys. So even if you don't necessarily need the small key, you do need to logically have both. Like boots cannot be on Landmo if there's either of the keys on the torch.
Yeah, for the new runners, knowing the small key logic in the dungeons is extremely helpful for several of the dungeons, and for some it's a bit of a nightmare and probably not worth your time, like Koth Ice Palace, for at least newer runners. But yeah, knowing what, especially Dark Palace is the one that stands out as the obvious one, like what keys are where and where are they guaranteed to be. Moon Pearl on Old Man.
Okay.
So yeah, so I mean Malchior's got hook shot, flute, pearl. They're feeling great. Don't have
Yeah,
boots.
what Malchior doesn't have is the boots, and he tried to do a hook speed ladder climb there, and yeah, you need the boots to do that.
Another one of the many examples when I was first watching races of what the heck is going on. What is this superhuman speed? And so just after the 20th thing that I saw that I didn't understand why it was possible, I finally figured out how to play Rando, and here we are.
Yeah, so super speed is another one of those Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitches. Basically, if you press the hook shot and the boots at the same time, and then you touch a manual staircase, you will move at boot speed in every direction. It's really nice. It's kind of hard to control, but you do get used to it eventually.
Yeah, watching someone in super speed trying to get into that portal at the top of the stairs is and stuck can be kind of funny, but.
Yeah, that's actually something that you do in the No Major Glitches speedrun. When you come up here to get the Ether Medallion, you have to super speed into that portal to get a quick warp.
Well, thankfully, Varoo is an Eastern, and whether well, I guess they didn't save and quit out of the fleet, so they're going to go all the way and hopefully find their hook shot as well.
Yeah, I believe this is a hard last location for them.
A blessing and a curse. You feel behind, but at least and they're already happy they found the flute, but when they find the hook shot, they're going to be both happy and probably think they're behind. Which, I mean, on paper they are,
Oh,
but okay, well now there's the hammer. So I was like,
yeah.
they're not
So if
that
you
behind.
so if you feel behind and you find the Moon Pearl and you have Aga access, do you maybe just leave?
I mean, we just got the
Clear
glove.
Aga and go Dark World like that.
I mean, so
I
where
mean, you're
else are we
feeling
checking?
behind. You have to do something.
Unfortunately, Malchior just found the hammer and the glove in Paradox, so I guess they're continuing on to see what's on the floating island in Spiral Cave. But there's another example of where you could be tempted to quit out and not go check, not orphan these 2 checks here, but just kind of save them for later because you have so much open for you now with the glove and the hammer. You can go wherever you want to almost.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten a Dark World map check yet, but I think we're gonna get one pretty soon. But yeah, with that hammer, that opens up access to Tower of Hera, which we know is a crystal, so go clear your crystal.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't want to save and quit out there when you have the hammer, my bad. You want to definitely come over here and clear. And you have the book, so you can get ether. It's a nice
And
little...
we just got the Master Sword as well in Paradox Cave, so Paradox Cave is pretty loaded, as it normally is.
Okay, smile on Varoo's face right now.
Well, I mean, from their perspective, that had to be something because it's a hard last locate. So we had to. Actually, never mind, because Flute opened up the mountain by itself.
Yeah.
So it was a good call to stay in the dungeon and grab that hook shot when they did.
That's required in every seed that requires a Ganon finish for Moldorm 2. Is that correct?
No.
If Swamp is a pendant, it's still required because of Moldorm 2. Right?
Well, there are certain powers that you can't learn from a Jedi that can get you across the Moldorm 2 gap.
We don't discuss those. We don't discuss such things at the
There's nothing wrong with a good Moldorm bounce.
But logic never accounts for the 0.01% of the population that hovers, right?
It's a lot more than 0.01%. I would say a good third of people can hover nowadays.
Oh. Well, I'm in the 2/3. Those of you that are also in the 2/3 listening.
Yeah, and if anybody listening here, if you're ever in a race against me and you don't want me to hover, just ask me, like, hey, can you not hover this seed? And I'm 100% behind that.
Sean is also very negotiable, so if you want to pay him a fair price to learn how to hover, just send him a DM and you figure things out.
Negotiable is a weird way to say responds badly to your pressure.
Speaking of pressure, Moldorm fights are never calm, although we've got the cape to take some pressure off, but an early Moldorm fight can be tense if you don't have protection, but hopefully we won't see any falls here, and just a nice, clean, smooth, well-behaved
Varoo just getting into the old man cave.
Yeah, barely.
Right before that cabbage owned them. That was very nice.
That was close.
Meanwhile, Malchior unfortunately put a slash on Moldorm and now triggered this enrage phase, but stayed on the platform and did a really nice job of surviving there.
Fairly shocked they didn't pause and go to Cape, which I would have done every day and twice on Sunday right there, given the anger that Moldorm was displaying, but they stayed calm and they're holding the crystal.
All right, we have our first crystal clear here about 23 minutes in. That's pretty typical of what you'll see, especially since we cleared most of the light world overworld at this point. Malchior identifying that there is an item in Hera basement and is going back for it. That's actually kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be a huge time waste or it could be a big swing if there's a bow here or something.
Yeah, they've got like the entire Dark World available right now.
Yeah, considering what they have, yeah, I mean, this is just a no man left behind sort of strategy, but it's pretty unnecessary given what they're holding in theory.
Yeah, and I mean, this takes a minute, like not like colloquially a minute, meaning a long time. I mean, it takes like a literal minute to, like, this room is 42 seconds, the next room is about 6, and then the next room's about 8.
Being pelted with tiles but not taking any damage.
Yeah, so when you're standing on those flaps, so Link can stand on the flaps when they're down, but when you hit the crystal switch while Link is standing on the flaps, Link will just have infinite iframes as long as he's standing on those tiles, and you can
Okay,
dodge the flying tiles.
so that was nothing, which has given Varoo a great opportunity here to. I guess they still have to clear Hera, but I was going to say to Varoo to catch back up, because if they elect to skip this check and just go straight to Dark World after Hera, I mean, we'll see what our early. There's multiple options for early Dark World here, either hype to Stumpy to digging game, or the more traditional Outcast to Thieves Town.
Yeah, if you don't know your prize layout, I would say with hammer access you should always just do hype left. But I mean, people have their different play styles.
And then you pick up mitts and are mad that you don't have the mirror just to knock all that stuff out. But beggars can't be choosers.
Right, and a very long walk through Spiral Cave here. This is another like 50-60 second check. But again, it's like you were saying before, there's a kind of a no man left behind approach that some people take. And if that ended up being like a fire rod, that would have been really useful for our next play.
And the beauty of Rando is that there literally is no correct answer. This is not like chess where you can just by brute force outplay someone if you are superior to that person. You can take a risk that your opponent does not, and it can. The riskier risks can leave you falling on your face a little more often than they lead to success, but when they lead to success, you look like a hero. And so it's the beauty of Rando, just every time. So
Yeah,
we got
so
Swamp and
this is
Thieves
why
are our other pendants.
yeah, this is why I like going to Hype Cave first, so you can check and see what the Thieves Town prize is, so you can formulate a plan for it later.
Let's call that a lengthy check. Is that fine? Can we call that a lengthy check?
Yeah, but I mean, if it turns out that you don't have to check the map later because you put your prizes down correctly, then you know you're saving a bit of time over someone who has to map 3, 4, 5. I saw someone. I did a VOD review for someone who mapped 26 times in this seed before.
Hey, check this out, Sean. So there's something with the prize that mini Moldorm drops. Did they mess this up by picking up the heart when it was in the air? I think that's why that didn't work right there, right?
Yes. So there's something called so Link has an altitude variable that basically the game tells the game whether Link is in the air or how high he is in the air. So what happens there is if the first enemy that spawns in a room drops a prize and Link collects it in the air, it sets Link's altitude to a value that makes bomb jumps not work, and makes the Harapot not work as well. It just kind of does some weird knockback effects, and
Brutal,
unfortunately, Varoo
brutal fate right there. Brutal
has to
fate.
save and get out of there.
No,
Wonder
the
if
Samaria
I wonder
was
if
the
they
only
just
thing they had.
yeah. They
Oh,
were
no
just a little
bombs?
far left for that, but now I think they're just going to go to the Dark World, which may end up in their favor actually, because I don't think there was anything in
Okay.
Hera.
Throw that away for possible. I mean, did you see everything that happened right there? They probably aren't aware of the altitude glitch, as I was not. Missed the Harapot, went up the normal way, fell down by accident. That was quite a sequence there. No
Yeah,
bombs,
and then
misplaced
get out.
Samaria.
Yeah, and you know, obviously it's a mistake, whatever, and credit to Rue. They're just kind of rolling with the punches here, and that's one of the things I strive to teach all of my mentees is you're going to make mistakes. What you do with those mistakes is what's going to win or lose you a seed. So big credit to Varoo right here for just keep on keeping on. You'll clean up Hera when you come back for Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, because now outside of Hera, they're only about what, less than 60 seconds behind Malchior, maybe 60 seconds. And so if Hera's pretty easy to clear if it's one of the last things you're doing. So we're
Yeah, if you
kind of
can
almost back to square.
Yeah, if you can Harapot, if you only do Harapot and the Moldorm kill, I believe it's like 58 seconds. So it's not really, and it's kind of too early in the seed to talk about stuff like distance between them, because at any point one of these could find something that puts them like way ahead or way behind.
While you were explaining the altitude situation, Malchior, I believe, found red mail and the flippers, and now tempered sword here. Red mail and flippers in hype cave, so a decent hype cave this run.
Yeah, flippers are nice. Have we done any flipper checks? I don't think either of them. Oh, they both fake flippered actually. At
Hobo, I
least
don't know
at
if
least the
I don't know if
hobo. I
anyone
don't
went
think
up
they.
to, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they went any further than that.
That's interesting. I just love all the different strats because, I mean, for me personally, if I'm going to Hobo, I'm going to go check out Waterfall Ferry. They must just want to delay that because they don't have Zora money, which makes that Waterfall Ferry check so much more fruitful if you can go all the way
Oh,
up to Zora.
so interesting. Malchior's doing Smoke Rock here to get Zora money.
Speaking of Zora money,
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I like this. I think Malchior has better stuff to do right now.
and they haven't. I mean, they just did the hype cave to digging game. That's all the Dark World they've done.
Yeah, but Village of Outcasts, and like you can go to Pod now that you have flippers. Like there's and
This
I
is
guess you
just a
could have
following the
gone
flippers
just.
play. I mean, they're just gonna go check this. They got Zora money. They want to get it out of their way and be done with it.
Yeah, no, I understand it. I'm still not 100% in favor of it. I mean, they don't have any clearable crystals available, so I guess coming up here looking for a fire rod is fine. For my money, the Village of Outcasts is a much better 3 checks than these
Well,
3
yeah,
here.
because unless you find Fire Rod specifically to combine Skull Woods with your Thieves Town, I mean, we got a Burnout, which is nice, but, I mean,
We already have a cape, so I don't even think that they're gonna go for that, honestly.
of all of the orphanable locations, I would say Zora is one of the rare. I mean, for some, it does not feel as like everyone goes to Zora at some point. It feels like, or are you one that skips Zora
Eh,
sometimes?
it depends. There's definitely some seeds where you can do some creative routing, as I believe Varoo is gonna follow Malchior up to Zora area here.
Hmm.
There are things. So the thing is, that's not even orphaned, because if you find a mirror, then you can combine it with catfish. So there are ways that you can get to this area if more efficiently, but like you said, it's probably just a peace of mind thing. We just got the flippers. Let's follow them wherever we can follow them. Also, Malchior, stay off the stairs. Stairs are
Yeah,
slow.
yeah. The unsung hero in the Zora thing is that you can't flute out of Zora's domain. It's frustrating when you. It'd be nice if you could just flute away, but you usually have to end with a save and quit there.
Yeah, that's always just the end cap of a route.
It's nice that the route does have several of those types of end caps where you know that once you reach destination X, you just leave. Okay, finally, 33 minutes in, getting what we both kind of wanted to see a few minutes ago, which is what Village of Outcast has for us.
Yeah, now we would have had to save and quit to get here anyway, so it's not like we're losing time in that regard. I just think there were more efficient times to do Zora. Uh, why are we not? Okay, just. Oh, maybe didn't think that he had money for chess game, but it is only 30 rupees.
Is it customary here to check? I mean, linearly, you would go to Thieves Town first, but if either the brewery or C-shaped house has boots, is it worth checking those locations before Thieves Town?
Not even just boots. Like, we're pretty low on health, so even if you just find a heart container in one of those places, that can keep you alive in Thieves Town, because a lot of Thieves Town enemies do a full heart of damage even on red mail. Oh, Varoo scared me there for a second. Hit the delete file option, and Fortunately, did not delete their file, but that was a little clinch moment.
That's got to be a less common mistake, but probably someone's done it when they shouldn't have before.
Yeah, probably. I remember there was a race at some point where someone accidentally deleted their file, and they said in the race time room, "Hey, I just deleted my file. Can we do a re-race?" And I believe they did end up re-racing. But if you're ever in that position, by the way, you are under no obligation to accept the re-race. Just if you're not feeling the re-race, just say, "Nope, I'm gonna finish my seed."
But then we're starting to have philosophical conversations about sportsmanship and Link to the Past randomizer.
I don't think we need to get into
Props to
that.
the other racer for being willing to re-race there. But yeah, duly noted. Um, so here we. So would you say, just to double back, would you agree that most runners check those checks in Outcast before dipping into Thieves, just because they might improve their weaponry or arsenal for any reason?
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty popular play, and it's one that I would definitely make as well.
Still haven't found the mirror, which is my personal favorite routing tool in the game, just for being able to leave dungeons and go from one world to the next. So
Yeah, especially
that's
because
on
we're
my
on red
brain.
mail, and
Yeah.
death warping is kind of a tall ask at this point, even on 8 hearts here.
We have the hammer though, so we can full clear. And swamp is a pendant, so at some point we're gonna hope we don't find the mirror, but we haven't got there yet.
Well, I think, like you said, the mirror is such a powerful routing tool that I think we want to find it, but like we can just actively stay away from swamp if we do.
Until your go mode ether and you find the mirror in like one of the, I mean, there's some nasty situations where you can find the mirror when you're in go mode -1, and the mirror is only leading to your to your ether. But pro
Yeah,
tip.
I was a little confused there why Malchior was fluting to desert, but yeah, so desert is a crystal. It's probably worth a peek. Honestly, I probably would have gone to Skullwoods before even considering something like this, but not wanting to so what put them in this position is they didn't want to death warp out of Thieves Town, which is fair. Like you're on a bunch of health, and death warping out of Thieves Town would have been really slow, so might as well take the opportunity to save and quit back to the light world.
Why not just finish Thieves Town?
Well, it is a pendant. I believe we found 2 items in the front, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
It
it's true.
depends. It depends on vibes for me, like how I'm feeling about it that day. Whether I finish Thieves Town having 2 items in the back. Honestly, they don't really have much better to do, unless Deserts is not boot locked, which we know it is. So that's going to be unfortunate on Malchior's side, but it will even up our runners on checks because Varoo already did this desert check.
Yeah, that's a perfect time. I was going to say for all of our viewers, especially for the newer runners, what do we have access to other than the back of Thieves Town right now? I mean, Varoo, we'll see what they're doing after here, but we're kind of, I mean,
Yeah,
has the
we're
mushroom been
kind
turned
of
in? I guess it has.
yes. Mushroom was tempered sword.
That's
So
right. That's right.
what we have left, we have a non-clearable Skull Woods, which could be up to 2 items. We have Bumper Ledge since we have the cape. We have
Pyramid
Catfish
Catfish,
and Palace of
Pod.
Darkness, and the Pyramid
Pod, as we
Ledge.
know, has, I believe, 5 items. Is that right? So
Yes,
um, we
but
can.
it's also a non-clearable crystal, so you wanna kind of maybe maybe keep Pot at a distance a little bit.
Not clearable because we're lacking the bow. Is that right? Because we have the
Uh,
hammer and the lamp. So if we potion glitch, we can clear pod. Um,
well, you still need the bow to get to Helmasaur King.
that's true. That is true. The very back of pod is always and forever bow locked. I guess can you potion glitch that room or no?
There's a statue that you have to shoot with an arrow that you can't get past.
Oh, the statue. That's right. But can you for the
And
that's right.
also no, because that's not a moving camera room, so so the camera won't respond to the potion glitch. Oh, here's something we haven't seen: back of escape, even though we got a glove a million years ago.
All right. Mitts, boots, and bow. Here we come.
Oh, I guess Varoo must have done it because our tracker shows that they have the Ether Medallion, which we just found in back of Escape on Malchior's side.
Does
So I
every
must have
tracker
missed
in the
that.
world roll their eyes at the commentators because they just know things we don't because we're
Yes.
Sorry, Raynox, thank you for tracking.
I'm
Have we
sure
mentioned
Raynox
our
has like tally marks for. Oh my God, Sean said something stupid again. Tick it off.
Yeah, we should probably shout out our mentors. Have we mentioned that we've mentioned our racers at this point, but our mentors are doing a lot of the verbal guidance here. Iceman F1. I don't know if you know our teams here. Is it Tale? Is that Varoo's mentor?
Uh, I believe so. I got a
Sorry for
pronunciation earlier,
mispronouncing.
but
Sorry for mispronouncing.
that was 40 whole minutes ago. I don't remember that.
I know. We just wanted
We
to make sure we
can.
meet everyone
I guess
involved before we forget.
I'll ask her later.
Of course, the stream brought to you by Mr. Angry Pants himself. Okay, we have not gotten this far into Escape yet, is that right?
I believe Varoo did this as their initial play.
Q, Raynox, I roll.
Yeah, so so a little bit about the mentors, just very quickly as we're treading in each other's tracks here. Iceman is a fellow mentee from 2022. It's, grown into a respectable rando player. Uh, very very efficient router. Taylor, I'm not as familiar with. I think she's maybe a bit newer, but we did. I think we ran into each other in one tournament or another. All right, so we're back in hair. Oh, getting pinballed around.
And is it true? I think I saw in the rules that one of the rules of the tournament is that you cannot have participated in the last 2 years or something, I believe.
It was that this can't be your third mentor tournament. People who have done
Sorry if I
two mentor
misheard.
tournaments, people who have done two mentor tournaments in the past were not eligible for this one. But we do have a few returning from last mentor tournament.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. I think we had 57 people sign up, which is incredible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're down to 54 already. So hopefully we can get the rest of them have a great time.
Well, that number certainly is less odd than 57, just purely mathematically.
Yes, in that 54 is indeed an even number, being divisible by 2.
That's all I was saying.
And we
Fist
are.
I mean, we're going to pod, and we got Malchior has.
I think we just have one on each side now. Now that Varoo took care of the Moldworm.
Is Varoo going to Skullwoods or pod? What's your gut tell you? Oh, they're going back to the basement. No.
Going back for Hera Basement. I still think they maybe have better things to do, but again, it's the no man left behind thing. You don't want to lose to an ice rod in Hera Basement at this point.
I know it's early, and I guess we don't know if we need Mirror yet, unless it leads to something else. But we know if we could do just a super early 43 minutes in go mode, is there a number of items that's too early to talk about it? I mean, we need boots, we need bow, and we need rods.
I want to focus on Varoo's screen right now. So Varoo is using the cape, but his magic is not going down. Do you know why?
I don't. Please tell us.
So if you use the cape and you grab onto a wall, your magic doesn't get used, but you still get to use the cape because Zelda things.
Because reasons.
Yes.
Is that in every room in the game?
That is in every room in the game. Yes, it's useful in Tile Room in GT, and also very useful in the Ganon fight when the fire bats are all kind of kind of hunting you down, you can just grab the wall and let them do their thing.
And
Not
for those
use
that
any
know,
magic.
it can be very unhelpful in the spike room before August 2, if you know. But yes, we like the cape for the most part, yes. Hopefully that will not afflict either of our runners. Oh, speaking of potion glitch, Malchior is showing us this right now. We gotta get that red guy stuck behind that pot there. There we go.
Yeah, so a little bit about that glitch. When you're walking to the left and the camera is panning, and Link drinks a potion while the camera is panning. It causes a permanent camera unlock until the camera hits the edge of a room. So as long as you stay kind of hugging to that right wall, you won't lock the camera again, and you will be able to drag the mimics off screen and not need the bow to get this stuff right here.
Yeah, that's the glitch that actually made me realize that there are basically two types of rooms, right? Rooms where it moves and Link stays in the middle, and rooms where Link moves and the room stays in the middle and never moves. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's interesting, and you can just take advantage of that fact that you're transitioning from one to the other, and who cares if it's bow locked? We can get our small keys. I don't even know if it is bow locked. Was the first chest a key?
I believe it was, or no, I don't believe that it was a key. So I think the rest of pot is indeed bow locked. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind here. That anything we find in here is behind the bow.
But things that we could find, I mean, are some more damaging than others. Like if we find boots here, we don't give a bleep that it's bow locked. We just found boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Or should we
Well,
care?
and there's also since we switched to progressive bows umpteen million years ago, there are two bows out there. So pod being bow locked doesn't mean too much because you can still find the second bow in here and then be able to clear. And same with anything else you find. Like if you say find boots in here, the second bow can just be under the bonk rocks, right?
Right. Will we see the potion glitch from Varoo as well?
It's a pretty easy one to do. One of the community members, Koi, made a video about the potion glitch, wherein he just explains to his mom how to do it. His mom never played the game, never picked up a SNES controller before, and was able to do it in about 5 minutes. So it's pretty easy.
And then she said, "Teach me how to hover," and she got it the first
Uh,
try.
Right.
Hashtag
That's,
epic grandma.
man, if Koi ever learns how to hover, that'll be a miracle. For those who
That's
don't know,
not. I noticed. I was going to
Koi
shout
plays
out
on keyboard.
His how-to videos are an extremely impactful resource.
Unfortunately, I don't believe we drank the potion when we were walking, so now we have to use another one.
You also, if I'm not mistaken, Sean cannot walk much further left than the doorway in terms of coordinate.
Yeah,
you
so
kind
you
of hug that wall as you're turning north.
Yeah, so like I said before, as we find a bow-locked fire rod here. Like I
Sweet.
said before, the camera will unlock until the game tells it to lock again, which is true of any moving camera room, but the drinking the potion will make it persist through the doorway rather than normally where it would say, "Oh, you just moved into a not moving camera room, so let's stop moving the camera."
Bow-locked fire rod. So if bow's on blind, then we're good. But until we find the bow, it's a little weird.
Again, not necessarily, because there are two bows. So if you say, I mean, their next stop is probably Skullwoods. So if you find a bow on Moth, then again, we don't really care that we got that bow out of logic unless you're Gamachu and you care about clean hands.
Sure. Well, at some race, every runner breaks at some point. No one stays clean forever in terms of logic breaking.
Yeah, that is true. At some point, logic just becomes a suggestion, and that's kind of why we're doing this pod full clear at the moment.
If there was a universe, because I always like to say that 2 plus 2 is 4, and there's no way to dispute that. But I suppose if there was a universe where you could dispute it, it would be rando. But well, that's a conversation for a different day.
2 plus 2 is only 4 in base 10.
Oh my
Well,
God, Sean, you
base
outsmart
3
me.
and above. Sorry, base 5 and
Touche,
above.
sir. Touche. Okay, so Varoo's about to get their fire rod. Malchior is walking. Are they doing pyramid and catfish, you think?
I believe that is the play here, and they might be looking to hook across the river. I don't know. This is pretty slow. This is 2 checks, and it's probably a little bit faster than the 2 checks that Skullwoods will give you. The difference, though, is Skullwoods is going to give you a crystal.
Yeah, and they have red mail and hearts and half magic, so you wouldn't think any concern about Mothula. It's also just if I'm one of these runners, knowing that desert is boot locked, I'm just tormented we're approaching an hour now and we haven't found the boots. And of course you assume your opponent found them 10 minutes in. But it's comforting knowing that they're both just walking. Like, it sucks to walk for 2 hours, but if your opponent also has to walk for 2 hours, then it's less painful.
Yeah, that does take some of the sting out of it. It's the same as like if you have to clear Aga 1, like you don't really care how many blue balls it is because your opponent also has to go through that many. All right, boots on catfish. Let's go.
Varoo knows that this harmless hellway has to contain something like the fire rod because they found 2 small keys in the other areas. Right, if they only found one in those
specifically in the 3 chests in dark basement left and right, and the turtle room itself, the compass chest. Yes. Between those 3 chests, if you find 2 small keys between those 3 chests, then you know that there's something in harmless hellway.
Sean taught me that last week, and that is just exactly kind of one of the things I'm talking about with key logic. Knowing pod key logic and other relevant dungeons key logics where small keys can or can't be. Like, in Meyer, for example, the cutscene is guaranteed to be the big key if the room above the torch room is a small key. Is that right? I believe that's correct. That probably sounded confusing, but there are a lot of dungeons where you are guaranteed the key location if you find another key in a location, and that can be really helpful information to know. And I'm guessing we're going to get some Skullwoods checks here, hopefully pretty soon.
Shout out to chat here. The catfish trip may just be inspecting for logic, because Skullwoods may just not have any items that are in logic. They might just both be behind that fire rod. So check the stuff that you know is in logic before you go fishing for the stuff that's not.
So flush that thought out. What could Catfish have had or not had that would have, like, if Catfish had a bow, you feel more confident about going to Skullwoods, or
if Catfish has a bow, I kind of just roll my eyes, because you could have gone there before going to pod, and then you could have cleared pod. But I think, I mean, obviously Catfish could have just had the boots, and then that's huge because it's a required item in a spot that a lot of people like to skip.
So I'm only asking because that's actually really, I love this. Look at this full sync we have with the runners. I love when this happens. They are literally, wish we could whisper in their ears and say you're on top of each other. But it's crazy how this happens inevitably sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Varoo had some hiccups in the beginning, but has decided to skip some stuff that Malchior went and got. So, I mean, this just goes to show you, like, I don't know about you, but when I'm in a race, like, I just constantly just always think I'm behind because my opponent always plays perfectly and always hits the god route. Yeah. But this just goes to show you that's not necessarily true. Like, your opponent can have struggles too. Your opponent can get led down a rabbit hole that wastes several minutes, and you just end up skipping that stuff.
I mean, yeah, you might be on the struggle bus, but the struggle bus might be winning the race.
No, it's called the struggle bus because there's a bunch of people on it, and your opponent might be one of them.
And the bunch of people is every other rando player in history. Except for your opponent in this current race.
Yeah, yes. Except for the opponent in the race that you're in right now.
Varoo just saying, I don't care about this. I'm just moving on. There's a slightly faster, although it doesn't look too much slower than I guess how they did it. But
So
I'm a
without the
sucker for killing those
boots,
guys.
there's not really a faster, efficient way to do that screen.
It's good to know to not waste magic. If you don't have half magic, you don't have to kill those guys for optimization because it's not
Ooh,
exactly optimal.
so important point here. Varoo just charged and released a spin with Tempered Sword, so that does tier 4 damage, which does not damage Moth, which we're gonna see again here. Not exactly hitting Moth's hitbox either, but
I'm about to
uh-oh.
die. Yeah, I was gonna say
Rip.
their help.
Yeah,
That
so
was
Tempered Sword spins actually don't damage Moth because the game thinks that Moth is running into a spike, and spikes are programmed to do 0 damage to Moth. So that's why Moth takes a bunch of slashes sometimes. It's because she's getting knocked into the spikes, and the spike damage is overriding your sword damage that you did, and so it overrides to 0. And in the vanilla game, even like gold sword slashes don't damage Moth, but that has been patched for Rando.
And can you confirm for me, Sean? I knew that about the spikes, and yeah, just to reiterate, if it takes you 10 minutes to kill Mothula, you're probably just hitting her into the spikes a bunch of times. But when you do that, will it always not give the iframe flash on Moth? Like if you get the iframes, did you successfully hit her?
It's
Or
it's kind of it's kind of inconsistent actually.
that's what I was thinking. Meanwhile, Varoo took a pretty painful death on Mothula, and when you spawn with no magic, and you have to go through this room again, and I'm guessing they're going to be a little more cautious with Moth this time, but
Yeah, uh having that half magic is really big, and looks like Malchior taking a death too. Is that a death warp?
that might have been intentional. Oh, did it? No, we already got Moth. Okay,
Oh
that was
yeah,
probably.
that was a death warp from the bridge chest. Okay. Uh, Statement in chat. I always feel like I have one extra key in Skullwoods. That's because there's a locked door that we never open. That's why you feel like you have an extra key, because you always do. But
There's also
logically, Mothlia is locked behind the 3 keys that are in chests in Skullwoods. So, uh, use that however you will. So Mothula can never hold a small key, and that results in a good bit of the time Moth will end up having one of the 2 items.
right.
So that's why they went and did Moth first, to try and get that first item before
Did Moth have an
try
item?
and get No, she had the map.
Okay, so we just found a 20 rupee, and we were so busy chatting. Have they found another item or just the $20 so far?
I believe that's the first item. Now you're damaging down to probably set up another death warp here.
I mean, we can't do Ice Palace. We can't get to Mire.
All
I
right,
mean,
so
what is it?
there's our second item. I don't know. It's looking like back at these towns. Probably the answer here.
Yeah, I mean, mushrooms been turned. We have bottles, but no potions. It's fine. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Yeah, back at Thieves Town. I mean, if that's what they both have, they're both going there. It looks like might get a bumper check.
Varoo getting some redemption on Moth there.
Yeah.
Bumper Ledge is just a piece of heart. And I think Malchior is last locating this back at Thieves Town. I don't think he has anything left.
Did we get an early lumberjack check?
I think we did, but I don't remember what the item was. I don't think it's required. I think it's like a piece of heart.
Okay. That's frustrating when you don't need Aga for Dark World access, but it's got the medallion that gets you in Turtle Rock.
And then you get your Oops All Dungeon seeds, where something on Lumberjack and something on Ped.
And then your friend tells you about their seed where you didn't have to step foot into any one of the pendant dungeons, and you're like, cool,
And you're like,
dude.
okay, stop talking to me.
Thanks, man. All right, so I mean, we can basically wager if you're I place the occasional sports bet. So if we were to wager, there's almost certainly an item in the back of Thieves Town. There almost has to be, right? I mean, what is it going to be is the more interesting question. And we kind of want to delay Mitts, right? Is there kind of an acceptance in the field that Mitts is one of the better Go mode items? So I mean, if we fight it
Yeah,
here, it just unlocks a bunch. So we kind of want to find like boots mainly, right?
mainly, yeah. So hammer and mitts both lock a good big chunk of checks. So if you have either of those for your go mode, you're sitting pretty because you get to skip about a third of the game. Unfortunately, since we're already pretty deep in the dark world and we're last locating, it is the majority of the time this is going to be the mitts.
Right.
All right, we're about an hour in, so this is where I like to do two things here. I like to shout out our runners, Malchior and Varoo. Thanks for being on Restream, and their mentors, Iceman and I don't remember how to pronounce that name. Taylor?
Tale or Tele or we
Tale?
apologize. We will.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, shout outs to our runners. Go give them a follow, and Tale, thank you. Go give our runners a follow. And the other thing I like to do at the hour mark, especially in open seeds, is what do we need for go mode? So right now we need what, a bow and ice rod.
Boots.
We do need boots. That is something that we need.
Oh, ice rod, boots, mitts,
And it's okay.
and mirror if we need it.
Mirror only if something is in swamp or yeah.
There's
There's
our
our
mitts.
French vanilla mitts.
We're kind of approaching the time frame, Sean.
Uh,
Oh.
yeah. I'm not. Is there is that the fourth item? Is that why they left? Otherwise, I don't like that.
Yeah, Raynex, Q Raynox I roll. Do we have do we have the tracker? Do we know if was that the fourth item? Because that is a pretty bold save and quit if it wasn't.
Chat seems to think it was the fourth item, so I believe it.
Well, if that is, then a very smart save and quit. You spend 30 more seconds clearing the map and the compass just to hold a pendant that you don't need. That's not what we're here for.
Oh, it's way more than that. The blind fight by itself is 27.
Maybe they just want to practice the blind fight. What better way than in the tournament?
Yeah, during a race when it's not like the timer matters, right?
I mean, so this is kind of what I like. The mirror. I mean, you want the mirror, but at some point you don't want the mirror.
Oh, we need the Quake Medallion. That sucks.
So yeah, we
All
still
right,
need a
so
lot of items.
we needed a lot, like a lot.
You'll play some seeds. We're at 35 minutes. Your fire rod from go mode, and now we're over an hour, and we need what 5 items, maybe 6.
Yeah, and we're on a pretty long railroad here because that those mitts were a big bottleneck.
I mean,
All right, we're going to Ice Palace. I like it.
some people love it, some people hate it. I'm more of a don't mind it / kind of like it, but you just kind of got to do it. I mean, and kind of don't mind if it's a crystal because you got to do it. It's when it's a pendant and it has something you need that's really the pain in the tuchus.
So people put off Ice Palace for just way too long. Like I've seen so many people lose races because they don't want to go to Ice Palace because they don't like it and they're not comfortable in it and they are out of practice and they just hope to never have to set foot in there. But like the reality is you're gonna have to do it the majority of the time, and putting it off is more often than not is detrimental to you.
It's okay to not like it. I believe Andy Lasso himself does not like Ice Palace, but that doesn't mean you don't go in it when you need to.
I think he's kind of come around on it since Icebreaker.
Softened. He's melted, unlike the ice in the palace that he once hated. Spike cave check.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen this, or did we?
Q Raynox eye roll. Bombs.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna see Icebreaker, one of the handier glitches. Just totally eliminates having to go up the long path. There we go. And if you have Samaria and some twitchy hands, you too can
Oh
break ice
baby,
palace.
there's our Quake medallion.
Oh man. Oh boy. I think we are going to Mire after this. I guess we'll see what Ice Palace has for us first.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't want to go up the mountain. Plus, like, your ice rod could be sitting in mire, so I think looking at TR is a little too risky at this point.
Although we do have what we need for it, do we not?
Yeah,
Other than
because
Ice Rod?
we have all three medallions, and we don't have the ice rod. But again, it could be sitting in mire. You never know. So
It feels too early to dip into T-Rock hoping it's got Ice Rod.
yeah, that's true. That's really only a play you make if you're like ice rod go, and you have a choice between pick a pendant or a technically non-clearable turtle rock.
That is definitely not exactly what happened to me the other night in my competitive race, but it's all good.
Yeah,
Ice
so
Rod
I
definitely was not in the big chest of Pendant Thieves Town. It wasn't. Okay, well, here we go.
I always tell mentees that like the entry requirements for Turtle Rock are so steep that if the game gives you the means to get into Turtle Rock, it's usually telling you that something is there.
Right. Would you agree that early Turtle Rock dips are a little more common in variants like Key Sanity?
Not necessarily, because the entry requirements are still the same as like non-key sanity. It's just the requirements to go further than like the compass chest are bigger.
I mean, but how often do we find the mirror or the fire rod in that compass chest?
Or a bow.
I guess that's better
Bows
than
love
Mimic. Mimic
bows
is
love
one of the
laser
nastier
bridge.
locations.
All right, so Varoo about to get their mitts. Eventually, maybe in a minute or two. Malchior deep into Ice Palace at this point.
We'll be testing Varoo's tracking knowledge as well, if they save and quit after the mitts or keep going.
Yeah, with auto tracking and stuff, it's kind of easy to see. Oh, that was the fourth item. I'll just leave, and if it's a pet seed, it's a pet seed.
I feel really in the minority then because I still don't look at my tracker in real time when I'm racing because it just takes time. I look at it later in the game when I'm stuck between locations, but not when I'm actively going through a dungeon confirming whether I've got none or one items left. I know a lot of probably the majority of runners use that, but I find it slightly distracting personally.
Ooh,
That was
very
a
nice fight there
very
by
buttery
Malchior,
smooth.
getting lots of fire rod splash damage on all of the eyes. And that's not an easy fight. They were on 2-hit KO there because Cold Stare Puffs still do 2 hearts on red male, so very nicely done.
Varoo also remembering to save and quit. But yeah, save and watch and
Nope.
rewind that Malchior fight a bunch of times if you want to see how to really well execute Cold Stare fight.
And then immediately tries to use the flute in the Dark World, so
Yeah, I
he
mean,
is still a mentee, but we're getting there.
yeah. Even the young Jedi make mistakes. Meyer. Oh, where are we going now? Oh, I guess Varoo's doing
Yeah,
it.
we're going to Dark Death Mountain, which again, like I said, if you can get into Turtle Rock, the game is usually telling you that there's something there. This is gonna feel really bad if the... Well, maybe not necessarily. Yeah, because we don't have a mirror. We can't like portal save or anything. So this is gonna feel a bit bad if the
Make
ice rod ends up in
Meyer.
Mire.
So make the argument. Defend this choice. Why is this a better idea than going to Meyer? Just because you have Turtle Rock equipment other than Ice Rod? I mean,
Yeah, because like I said, there's probably just something in here, but I think the something in here can wait.
right. I mean, I'm going to Meyer here. I feel like he's gonna be.
Yeah,
They're
no,
gonna be a genius.
I 100% agree that Meyer is the better play, but because again, like there's nothing that you can find in here that's gonna make your Meyer experience or your desert experience any better. The dream here would be to rip the boots so that you can combo desert and Meyer, but you would have to rip both boots and mirror in order for that to happen. So that's a bit of a taller order.
How about Mirror, which leads to Checkerboard Ice Rod?
I think you can leave my chat.
Why?
That's
That's
a
a great
force.
idea.
It's a forced double dip of Turtle Rock. I hate it.
I mean, Rando's gonna rando. I mean, oh, see there. Okay,
Alright, so there's the boots
and
and a
bow.
bow.
Wow.
Okay, are we even interested in Turtle Rock anymore?
That is a real. I mean,
Like, we're
with finding that.
definitely doing Hookshot Cave here, but do we just save and quit out of Hookshot Cave and clear our crystals, try and find the ice rod?
I'm saving and quitting and going to pod, and this is an example of where I would robotically clear pod, and in the 2 to 3 minutes that takes, I'm playing out my next 10 minutes, which I think a good rando runner is doing that constantly, kind of always probing what am I doing next, what am I doing now, and if you can figure out what you're doing next while you're doing something now that's robotic, like clearing pod.
Ooh,
You don't
there's
have
the
to
mirror.
follow
Yeah,
logic.
I'm definitely not
Yeah,
interested in Turtle Rock anymore.
yeah. I mean, we just found
Yeah, we're out of here.
it. Technically, I mean, what is that? I mean, it's nice having the mirror.
Okay,
Clearly,
Spike Cave is fine here, I think. Just go ahead and clean it up. You're over here anyway, and yeah, I think Malchior's not interested in Turtle Rock anymore anyway.
and we have boots and
So,
fire. So after this is going to be Mire to desert for sure, right?
might just go and clear pod just for the heck of it. Need to anyway. It doesn't really ever get very much faster.
Do you subscribe to that theory where you just do something that you know, like you just have to finish pod, and you just use that time to kind of calm yourself and figure out what you want to do next?
Oh yeah, you always have to be thinking about what your next play is, because if you don't do that, then you end up like sitting in the menu for a minute and being like, okay, where do I want to go now? And that's slow.
But it's
You don't
nicer to
want to.
do that when you're at the beach than when you're fighting Trinex, is what I mean. Maybe not Trinex, but I guess we'll see. Where are they going to go finish pod, or are they going to Mire? Oh, I guess boot checks first.
Boot checks, and I don't know. Just I don't think it matters what order you do the dungeons in.
Well, we'll see. Are
Like
we...
Mire and Desert specifically, you have to, and Pod is in this boat too, but we've already done it. That you have to find the big key, so you never mind like having to go there when you're one from go, because you have to be clearing chests anyway.
So is Malchior officially Ice Rod from Go mode?
Yeah, that's where we're at over there, and
Varoo needs to get up
once
to
Varoo
Super...
goes to Dark Death Mountain, then they will be as well.
So now I'm trying to think of how can Varoo find the Ice Rod before Malchior?
I mean,
where's Ice Rod, right? I mean,
yeah, if it's somewhere gross, like pick a mirror check, or like the Smith chain or something, and I mean they would just have to kind of get lucky at this point, because if it's on the path, like Malchior's getting there first.
Checkerboard would be a pretty generous location. Let's pick a grosser one like Bombo's Tablet.
Yeah, that would be one of those pick a mirror checks. I was thinking specifically Bombo's Tablet, K45, and Graveyard Ledge for the
Although with the
pick,
if you
pick a mirror
embark on
check.
the Smith sequence, you're probably going all the way to Bombos though.
Oh, could be on Green Pendant. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be gross. And we have not done a ped check. Is that correct? I mean, wait. Let's think about it. Wait, pause. Let's make sure if Ice Rod can even be on ped. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Of course it can, because it only blocks one thing in the whole game.
The Ice Rod can always be on the pedestal. If it ever can't be on the pedestal, then Trinix is not required. So Ice Rod is not required.
I mean, a ped seed. I mean, we need one, right? Everyone kind of secretly hopes that it is one. Everyone but the two runners.
We just had one last night.
Oh, excellent.
We've had one ped seed, yes, but what about second ped seed?
Yes. Is it known the mathematical? It's like, was it 3% of seeds or more than that?
It's much less than that.
Oddly, a lower chance in Key Sanity, where I would have definitely learned or bet before I knew that it'd be higher in Key Sanity, but it's actually lower. Is that right?
Well, so with wild dungeon items, Key Sanity, the requirements for the pedestal get steeper, and steeper requirements means less likely to have progression. So here, let's see, Eastern's a pendant. You don't think of the Eastern big key as being required for the pedestal, but it is. But we know that it's somewhere in Eastern, whereas in Key Sanity, that's not the case. We don't know where Eastern big key is.
Sure. That's a great example. That's actually a really great example, because it's like, well, the only thing you need for ped is the 3 pendants. Yeah,
oh, baby. Okay, here we go. Hypothetical. You're one from go mode, and your first check in Mire is the big key. What do you do next?
I am... Yeah, what a god Mire if you're go moding it, but you're not. I am here, so I'm looking for Ice Rod.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm rolling the dice. I'm going to the boss.
But then where are you going from here? Pod, and then after pod,
Well,
where?
if Ice Rod's not on the boss, you just go back in and get your items.
So in that specific case, if Vitreous did not have Ice Rod, you would go back in and not just go to Desert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe clear Desert first and then go back into Mire. But yeah, like if you don't find what you need on the boss, you definitely go back in. You have a plan to go back in, basically.
Yeah, you tricked me.
If
that's like a Swamp Palace play. Like you take the hook shot and go straight back, and then if you need to go back in, fine. But a popular play in Swamp is to save left side.
That's something that people do too much, in my opinion. Too is skip go like way out of their way to skip left side swamp.
You do left side first, and you go back, and Argus has the big key. You dip him back into the big chest.
Yeah, you kind of have to. The big chests just take too long to clean up. Oh, we're stealing the key. And
we're getting a magic refill, which always remember, there are several pots throughout the game that have a full magic refill, and knowing exactly where those pots are can be an absolute lifesaver.
So I don't think we're going to see any spooky action here. The variable was messed up by the magic powder, so and spooky action's not something that I would expect to see in the first week of the Mentor Tournament anyway. Although I believe we did see it at some point. Did Dennis do it last night?
Did one of them load it with the bird?
I don't know. I when I teach people how to go to Mire, I just always tell them to go under the rock, and I don't tell them why. It's just like it doesn't hurt anything, and it gives you the muscle memory that you need to.
So real quick on the Specky glitch, it can be deactivated with the powder and also Samaria, which is complicated because you.
This is the spooky glitch. Specky glitch is in swamp.
I apologize. The spooky glitch, but the way around Samaria unblocking it is by doing a dash turn with Samaria, or a dash placement with Samaria. Is that right?
Yeah, so you need something on the screen. It can be kicking up dust. It can be ice rod trails. It can be silver arrow sparkles. You just need something to occupy the slot that would fill up with the Samaria block that kills the variable.
But you need Samaria in the dungeon, so you get around it by placing your Samaria block while you're dashing, and that overrides the override. Is that fair?
So you place the Samaria block with dash dust on the screen because then it kicks the Samaria block to a different Ancillus slot.
But if you don't dash, then the
Oh,
Samaria
if you
block
don't,
will break through.
yeah, if you don't dash, then the Samaria block occupies the first Ancillus slot available that the game tells it to, and then that messes up your altitude variable. Yes.
Just important to note, if you're learning the spooky glitch and not getting it right, as it did me, that's probably the reason if you're not dashing while you're placing. Okay, so we did not find our ice rod, so now I would go to pod for actually I would do desert, checkerboard and desert, and then go to pod, but we'll see what Malchior wants to do.
No!
Ah!
Oh, I see that happen way too much. You're trying to powder an anti-fairy and it takes your last heart.
There's got to be a word for that. The thing that saves you is about to kill you, or the thing that could save you kills you.
I think you've stated that very well. Yeah. So again, even though we have red mail, the health was not really forthcoming in this seed.
Yeah, I mean, would you rather have health, stealth, or wealth in the seed?
Health, stealth, or wealth? I would say probably wealth, because you know you can buy those other two things, right?
I would just say yes and just take all three.
Yes. Oh, thank you. No, it clearly says take one, sir. No. I don't know how to read.
Oh, ice rod. I mean, ice rod is a pretty fun go mode item.
Again, for us up here in the booth, oh yeah, absolutely. We love seeing full clears. For the person holding the controller, absolutely not. It's terrifying to be in ice rod go mode because you're like, okay, well, what did I leave behind that my opponent could have checked? Because if it's there, I'm boned.
They probably both think the other one's on the GT climb.
At 121, probably not, but probably in about 10 minutes.
Like it.
Yeah, well, with how bottlenecked the seed was, and like with where mitts were deep in Pendant Thieves Town, and the boots being behind them, I think you should feel fairly good, because there's no real way to get those boots any faster unless you committed to a full clear of Thieves Town, which, like, again, in my opinion, I think would have been the wrong play at the time that we were first in Thieves Town.
Right.
That's one of those, whatever, you get the boots 20 minutes faster than me by making the wrong play. GG rando.
It's certainly looking better for Malchior at the moment, simply because they've already made the trip to Dark Death Mountain and have the bow and the boots. Because Varoo is going to leave Meyer and not really. I mean, Malchior's got a pretty easy decision: go to Pod and hope you find Ice Rod. Whereas Varoo is kind of thinking, what do I do? Hopefully they just make the trip to Death Mountain and get their equipment. Otherwise, they're going to feel a little more lost than Malchior does. Or maybe have just slightly less feeling of a where do I go next.
Yeah, so something Varoo's doing here. So another little cape thing. If you are spamming sword slashes, while you have the cape on, your magic goes down a lot slower than if you don't do that. Why are we on bongos? Are we?
Don't die.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh no. Okay. We caught a fairy before this, so we're fine. I think they wanted to put an invincibility item on Y. That's what the menu was for, but yeah,
Is there not an invincible tile up in the top right you can stand on and not take damage?
So it's the vertical line of pixels that's all the way against the right-hand wall that you can stand on and not take damage. So if you slash to the left and hold your sword out and back up all the way against that right-hand wall, there's that 1 pixel of safe tiles.
Good to know.
It is really good to know for like if you're on low percent and you have a bow, you can just like stand there and go off the eyes until the big one comes out.
Or if all you have is fighter sword and hammer, just get up there and bombs away with the hammer. Both runners doing kind of what we thought. Malchior going to pod, probably clearing their head, trying to think about where am I going to go for Ice Rod if it's not on Helma. And Varoo, fortunately, made the right play. And they don't even have Mirror yet, so they're, I mean, yeah, I mean, at least they're going to get their boots and their bow.
Alright, well, this is going to be a bit of a feels bad, but I do still think that not knowing the information that we know right now, I still do think that doing Mire before Dark Death Mountain was the correct play. But now Varoo's going to find all that stuff that was there and going to feel bad in the moment, but I do like the Mire play first better, even though it didn't
If only
work
we
out
could
as
tell
seen.
them that Ice Rod isn't in desert. But I guess what would they do even if they knew that?
Probably just clear to the big key and then not, or we know the big key is on the torch, so like, yeah, just get big key, kill boss, and save the few minutes that it takes to get desert. There was a question in chat earlier if it's valuable to steal the small key and loot the things from the right side. Usually that's less common in non-key sanity modes, and you would only really ever do that. Well, you would only ever really do that as like the end cap of a route, which it was the end cap of a route, so it's maybe worth doing, but then you would have to clear chests for the small key. So you would have to take the big key to the big chest and get the small key out of the big chest, which is a couple rooms. But
Interesting
yeah,
strat from Malchior. Did you see that strat? How Malchior did not use the hammer to break Helma's face mask. Does that only work with the charged sword? You can't just slash tempered sword and hit the mask, right?
So he was using the hammer, but when you have your sword held out, the hammer hitbox is actually extended to the end of your sword.
Gotcha. Wow.
So he was using the hammer. He was just using the knowledge, and also if you arm spin speed, so if you charge a spin, release it, and then press A the frame after you release it, then, or no, you have to charge a spin, and then the same frame that you release it, you have to press A. It's less complicated than I'm making it sound, but if you arm spin speed in that room, it gives you a permanent extended hitbox, like you have your sword held out. Yeah, so we see Varoo going into Turtle Rock, whereas Malchior, I guess, wants to see what's on Green Pendant. Yeah, I don't know about Green Pendant. I mean, Ice Rods just love to live on Laser Bridge, so not really sure how valuable this play is going to be. But this is one of those things that, like, yeah, you go against type here, and then if your item is here, you look like a genius.
This is what I'm saying. This is exactly the play that Varoo needs to get back in this. Because if Ice Rod's in here, they can just finish it out and go calmly finish Pod and Desert, and they're done, quote unquote.
Yeah, just
Um,
go those 2 dungeons, and Turtle Rock's one of those that you have to clear to the big key, and there's also like at least 3 small keys in chests that you need. So it's it's one that you don't mind opening some quote unquote extra chests because you have to find dungeon items anyway.
right. Among the longer of the
Okay.
go mode versus normal mode dungeons, it's among the least different.
So Gomo TR actually does save a good bit of time because we know that the big key has to either be in lava chest or before lava chest. It can never be in the back. No glitches.
So you can skip that room after the before you go to the mimic walkway.
Yeah, so you can skip Mimic Cave and you can skip the big chest. Now that does open you up to a 3% chance that that you get screwed when when there are exactly small keys in both lava chest and the big chest. So that's about a 3% chance that you end up locking yourself out and you have to end up going for.
And is that possible even if you just steal the key from here? I know the big key is here.
Yeah, that's accounting for stealing the Poke Key.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because I've done that before. That hasn't happened to me yet because I steal that key and just go straight to the back. And I've always wondered if there was a scenario where my final small key wasn't on Laser Bridge. But that's what you're saying is that there's a 3% chance that it's not.
Yeah, and taking like I take those odds all day, every day, twice on Sundays, right? So it's
I would just
just
like
you
to
just
point
have to
out.
be aware. You just have to be aware that it can happen.
I would like to point out that that's the second time we've used the phrase every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and today is Sunday, and we've done it twice. I'm just gonna say
We have indeed. We did it twice on Sunday.
so. We
Are
use
we
that phrase
getting?
every day of the week and twice on Sundays, literally.
Oh, now we used it 3 times, and that kind of ruined it.
We
We're
just-
getting a ped check.
My bad. I mean, okay, hype. I mean, this is where we need the chat hype, right? I mean, this is all right. This is the moment of the race right here.
It takes a really long time to run here.
Dang it.
And even if it is the ice rod, like you should probably just go clear swamp anyway. If you think it's pedestal, then you should probably just go clear swamp anyway because it could just be like sitting in there.
Well, if it's ped, you just go mode swamp.
Oh no! Oh, we just found a shovel in Mimic Cave.
And I
Oh
was
no!
just thinking we don't want to find shovel, for sure.
Well, so we do have the mirror, so we can clear out the rest of this dungeon, go out the safety door, warp, and just go straight for the shovel check. But now we don't need to because that's go mode. So yeah, the more Malchior farts around down here, the further he gets from that ice rod, and the more time he's giving Varoo to make up that 2 dungeon deficit.
We're watching unfold in real time exactly why you can just never, ever give up hope. Because look at what Malchior's doing. He's looking for Ice Rod when they never went into T-Rock at all, right? They didn't. And so, I mean, Varoo is being rewarded for this deep dive. And when they leave T-Rock, now all of a sudden their spirits are soaring. Quick pod, quick desert palace. I mean, I don't know if the momentum has momentum changed his address or what. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, so and this goes to show you, like, Varoo was behind, like really behind, and now he's got a chance to come back. So like this is one of the reasons that you should always finish your race, even like if you feel like you're way behind, like your opponent could just make a wrong turn. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with what Malchior is doing right now because Ice Rod can just be anywhere. But like yeah, it's never over until the admins review the VODs.
It's excruciating though because their only crystal left, Malchior's, is Turtle Rock, and the item they need is in Turtle Rock. And so at some point, I mean the Smith check, sure, but I mean pretty soon it's going to start being Swamp versus T-Rock. I mean, I'm guessing they're gonna go to T-Rock before they ever go into a pendant dungeon, if I had to guess. But it's still a pretty brutal scenario.
Yeah, and I think doing a little bit of hope routing can actually work in your favor. Like if you're one from Go mode, you kind of have to just think, okay, where can this thing be that it would benefit me the most? And in Ice Rod specifically, like if you're Ice Rod Go, it benefits you the most to just be in Turtle Rock because A, you can just finish the dungeon afterwards, and B, your opponent could just do what Malchior is doing and end up full clearing the game before coming into Turtle Rock. So
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes hope routing is good.
What do you think Varoo was looking for on Laser Bridge there? Just help than maybe silvers?
Probably silvers. So they did need a key, so you have to go onto Laser Bridge anyway. So looking for silvers there isn't a terrible thing to do. We still had 3 items at large, I think. So pretty likely that that you would find like something. And again, we're at 11 hearts here. That's not very many. You usually don't see 11 heart seeds outside of like a hard item pool.
Minor optimization on Varoo's screen. When you start with Ice Rod on the left there, you don't just want to spam Ice Rod for that second freeze. Kind of wait. I think it's either three sword slashes is perfect timing, but if you only do 2 and go back to the Ice Rod, the head will not have unthawed in time. So I usually just go for the 3 swipes before re-Ice Rodding.
Yeah, and another option that you have is if you're like not very practiced with this fight, you can actually just kill the ice head first with the fire rod, and then it won't put ice on the ground like we have here.
Nervous fight or not nervous fight, but 2 hearts and 1 hit would have killed for sure.
It depends. Different sections of Trinex do different damage,
Really?
but yeah, a full-on head hit would have killed him. Yeah.
One thing I did not know until I played Rando, and please inform me, in the original game in the 90s, was Trinex's head vulnerable in those first 2 seconds?
Yes.
Okay, so the fact that you can get those 2 hits
like
in
that,
before their belly turns up is a great tool to be sure to get those hits in on the head.
Optimally, you want a double spin. Oh, mirror bunk. All right, Varoo in go mode here still has 2 dungeons left to go. Malchior just needs to find his way into Turtle Rock, but is clearing everything that's not on the mountain first. So it's hard to tell. Like it's hard to tell where either runner actually is and who would be ahead or behind at this point.
We haven't used this phrase yet, but I'm taking Varoo every day of the week and twice on Sundays. No, I'm just kidding. It's crazy. I mean, I would have chosen Malchior's position for other than the last 10 minutes for almost the whole race after the opening little section there, but that flipped on its head because they're both Ice Rod Go mode and just Varoo's commitment. I don't know if they were just hoping it was exactly where it was and that Malchior didn't find it, but yeah, I mean, it swung on its head, and I mean, you want to be Varoo here for sure. Who cares? You could give me 5 dungeons left to clear if I'm in Go mode. But needing the Ice Rod and having no idea where it is pretty painful, although it does look like they might be possibly going back up to Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, it looks like Malchior's on the path, and this will be their last mountain climb. So why are we doing this way? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like Malchior's on the right path. So I would say that they're maybe in the lead because Varoo has 2 dungeons and a mountain climb to do. So probably about 8 to 10 minutes of clearing versus the 5 or 6 that Malchior's got. But if Malchior had gone into Swamp, then yeah, I would say Varoo's probably got a lead.
I mean, going into a pendant dungeon at this point versus TR is borderline criminal. Would you agree in Rando? Like, no one's doing that unless you're just super desperate.
You'd be surprised how many lengths that people will go to not double dip a dungeon.
Or just take a gamble and say, if Ice Rod's on the left side swamp and my opponent never goes there, then I'm going to win.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like if you know your opponent like is better at execution than you, then you don't want to take the same path as they do, right? You want to take a faster route because they're gonna beat you in a full on foot race.
Right.
So in that case, if you know that your opponent is better at execution, then you could make kind of an against type move into swamp because there's absolutely no way anybody's going into swamp in this scenario. So if Ice Rod is there, they're gonna full clear Turtle Rock, and I'm gonna be able to go mode it. So that's just stuff that you have to calculate in the moment.
Shout out to I don't know why she popped into my brain, but Pink Kitty Rose. Watching some of her when I was first discovering this, she was always one that every time she was on, people would be like, "Oh, the legendary routing of PKR," and you just watch it, and she just constantly would do stuff that her opponents weren't, and it would more often than not lead to really good stuff. And yeah, if you want to watch, I guess unique routing, shout out PKR. And that was 6 years ago, I guess, but still.
2018 was last year. Don't change my mind. When did we get so old?
I don't know. I mean, we don't have to tell how old we are, right? I mean, what is the average age of the Link to the Past randomizer community?
I'd say average is probably pushing 40.
Okay, that is higher than what I thought you were going to say. But what I was going to say next was, are there any teenagers? Like, you can't be a teenager, I don't
Yes.
think. Okay, there are. Excellent, excellent. So Link to the Past lives on. You don't you
Yeah,
don't only have to play it on the
actually,
original console.
actually, one of my 2022 mentees goes by the name of Faker Jr. Yeah, his dad was named Faker, who was a Link to the Past speedrunner. But yeah, Faker Jr. also speedruns Link to the Past and plays rando. So, and he might not be in his teens anymore, but yeah, is
Are you saying
one of the younger generation.
that is a second generation rando player?
That is indeed a
That
second
is,
generation rando player.
we have got to write a book about that. I mean, that is insane that we've got multi-generational rando players now. I have a 4-year-old, and I'm just teaching him how to hold his baseball glove right. I can imagine teaching him how to dip into T-Rock a bunch of times.
Yeah, speaking of, Malchior going through some struggles here. This
Yeah.
might be what Varoo needed to pull ahead.
And remind me where Big Key was here in T-Rock?
I think we already have it, but we're still looking for Ice Rod, so we have to do every chest.
Okay, okay, that's why he's doing that. And yeah, we have. I mean, after desert, we're climbing, right? So this is gonna be tight.
So you get a mountain climb. So you have the time it takes to clear desert, which is like a minute and change, like a minute and not change, like a minute 40, minute 50. But then you have to go and do a mountain climb, which is probably another minute or two. Like, but at this rate, like Malchior's bleeding a lot of time in these rooms, and the Trinex fight by itself is 40 seconds. So I don't
And
know.
they're
This
going to
just got a
mimic.
lot. Yeah, this just got a lot closer. They might not. When you're one from Go mode, you should actually check TR Big Chest first before you go to Mimic Cave for this
Sure.
exact reason. Because if your item that you need is in TR Big Chest, you can just continue on and you don't have to look at Mimic Cave at all. Mimic Cave takes 53 seconds. It's a big investment.
Huge. That's an awesome learning opportunity right there for everyone watching. I mean, it's easy in the moment to be like, I'm going in a straight line, but it only takes a couple seconds to go in that room. And if Big Chest has your ice rod, and as we know it does, and we might see a frustrated sword swipe here in a second once they realize that ice rod. I mean, and they're botching, not botching. We don't want to use words like that, making a bit of a mess of this cave too. And so
Yeah. So what Malchior is running into here is when you are trying to drag mimics around, you have to grab the wall while your D-pad is neutral. So he was running up to the pipe and holding right and grabbing the wall, but you have to neutralize your D-pad before you do that to get the mimics to follow you.
there's the happiness. Yeah, that's another. Sean taught me that last week as well, because I was running for a year and like, why aren't the mimics moving? And I did not know that you had to neutralize your D-pad. So,
Yeah, and you know this is all about learning. So I hope Malchior watches this back and finds out why that didn't work. And you know, if you're ever playing a seed and you don't know why something is not working, it's worth figuring out like what is going wrong. Oh baby. Yeah, this got a lot closer in the last few minutes. Because Varoo's got 7 crystals now and just has a mountain climb versus a laser bridge visit and a Trinex kill.
I mean, you wonder how many races had. I mean, an unnecessary mimic check, could that cost a race?
Oh, it can definitely cost a race, but we are just about to enter Ganon's Tower here. Well, we're going the slow way, but whatever. We are just about to enter Ganon's Tower, so we like to play a little game here. Chat, enter your guesses from 1 to 22. Where is the Ganon's Tower big key? And yes, once we spy the torch item, it counts even if we don't pick it up.
I'm the Eternal Optimist, so I just will say 1 forever. 1 is my guess.
Okay. I'll go 14.
You should have just said 22 to villainize the ultimate.
Yeah, there's always someone in chat that picks up 22, so I'll let them have it.
Also, Malchior is doing the same thing that Varoo did, which is the definitely safe, guaranteed strat of getting through Laser Bridge with your safety, but picking up on Laser Skip, very intimidating. Just a classic example of a very intimidating trick that once you kind of feel the movement, you know, it's just kind of pretty easy to execute, quote unquote, from there. So I highly recommend, once you get comfortable with the game, putting Laser Bridge Skip on the to-do list.
Yeah, and laser skips are in logic, so like you could be required to do a laser skip to get both invincibility items. So you're not always gonna have those.
Do you have a mirror shield for that?
Mirror in old logics, yes, you would have to have mirror shield, but not anymore. Laser skips can be required.
Okay, Malchior is going from the back. That's a good example. Yeah. Butter Sword, you don't even need to re-ice rod 3 shots and they're dead.
Yeah, backdoor Trinex is safer because Trinex can only attack in front of him, and definitely want to look into that if you're not familiar with it.
I was gonna say not unlike a turtle, and now the fact that it's called Turtle Rock is making me. Okay, I missed those checks there. I guess they weren't. Oh wait, where was that?
So we did the 2 checks in Hope Room, but we can't go any further because we didn't get
small keys.
So we gotta go. Well, could have done Tile Room, I guess, but you don't really want to.
Now that you found a small key on the torch, though, do you go back to the right? Probably not.
No, I don't think so. I think you just clear all the way left now. Now, Ganon's 14, yeah. So we've seen 3. Now, Ganon's Tower is one of those places that like there's no like objectively correct route. The correct route is the one that gets you to the big key the fastest. And you know, I would just say pick a route in GT and stick with it. As long as you're not just clearing stuff scattershot, you clear stuff in kind of an efficient manner. Sure. Then whatever route in GT that you take is fine. You're gonna lose some seeds to going left, and your opponent goes right and finds the big key right away. But you know, you just kind of have to take those as they come.
Yeah, you misspoke slightly there. The correct route is to do Tile Room first. But no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'll farm your race 9 points then.
No, I mean I've yet to play a seed with the key in Tile Room, but that means it's coming. So
no, Tile Room takes like exactly the same as the Tile Room in Hera takes. So it's 42 seconds, and in those 42 seconds you can get what, probably 7 checks off the board. I would say 7 or 8. So yeah,
is every runner in the world that has a brain's last check in Ganon Tower? Is that fair?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? I'm not registering today.
That's most runners' final check in GT is the Tile Room. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah. Most runners will, unless you're playing something like Cross Keys where you're like looking for progression items in GT. Then yeah, Tile Room is most likely your last thing. All right, fantastic. We got it.
There we go.
What was that?
What? No,
7, 8, 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, I think 13.
I mean, if this is Price is Right, you went over, so you're done.
Yeah,
But
so I lose. I get nothing. Good day, sir.
this is, I mean, GT with Price is Right rules is pretty brutal. Then that leaves even more power to the one guess. But anyway, so Mimic 1.
We did not get a 13. We did get a 12, but no 13s.
Very unlucky number to guess.
All right, so Varoo looks to be solidly in the lead here. They're race to lose at this point.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but GT is 100% execution, so it comes down to who can climb and kill faster, right?
Yeah, the GT climb and the Ganon fight are all execution. And honestly, I think people don't practice this part enough. And this is another reason that we mentors always tell mentees finish out your seeds, because you need that experience in Turtle Rock, you need that experience in Mire, you need that experience in Ice Palace, and you definitely need GT and Ganon experience.
Can I be a personal, whatever the word is for that? So I started playing Rando a year ago, and for probably the first 10 months, I would still generate the seeds to kill Ganon because I liked the logic behind those seeds, but because I was frustrated with GT, I would typically stop once I opened it because I had no anticipation to be in tournaments. But then it's like, well, I mean, I guess if you're gonna have to do this, it's beat Ganon. So I agree with Sean. Learn GT, make it Zen.
Yeah, and like if you're like a lot of people will tell me, well, I only play Rando for the puzzle. I'm not that interested in like the execution aspect of it. And the puzzle's over. You hit go mode, whatever. You're no longer interested in the seed. And if you're gonna be racing, you need to know how to execute this like versus your opponent.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna see the Landmos are gonna spawn a little weirdly here in this next room. So you'll see
speed with which you go through that room is what drives that process, right?
Yes, so dungeons are made up of what are called super tiles, and each super tile has a set number of rooms on it. The bunny beam room hallway there is on the same super tile as the land molas, and the timer for the Lammo spawns starts as soon as you enter the super tile. So if you don't make that stop to powder the bunny beam and you just go on to the next room, then they'll all spawn one at a time. But if you linger in that room for any amount of time, then the two timers for the second and third Lambos are going to be ticking down.
Which is what is required if you want the super fancy Samaria block one cycle, right?
Yes. if you want to do Samaria strat, please do not learn that strat. It's
speaking of
like
unlikely to see,
it's like a fun thing that you can do during practice until you get like super consistent with it, and then you can start putting it in runs. Just I would learn Fire Rod strats first.
We're kind of coming near the end here. So this, just to kind of put this is week 1 of a 6-week Swiss-style format, and Sean said we're down to 54 participants, and I believe at the end of these 6 weeks, everyone will be put into brackets, and the top 16 will be in the quote-unquote winners bracket, based on the record of your first 6 weeks. And so we're in the nitty-gritty here, and yeah, I mean, Varoo's ahead, but one GT fall or one Ganon fall, and they might not be. So, and no one has silvers, so this is officially going to be a silverless fight unless...
not necessarily. There's some fluff at the top of GT.
I mean, yeah, I'm guessing most mentees are checking the post-Moldorm chest. It's kind of hard not to.
Yeah, for sure. No, I will always tell my mentees to fluff for silvers, because you don't want, like, you want to be able to execute a silverless fight, but you don't really want to ever have to do it, right?
Do you say check the post-Moldorm but not the pre-Moldorm chest?
I would have definitely checked the pre-Moldorm chest, but that's yeah. So me personally, if I'm on tempered silverless, I'm not checking anything. But if you're just learning the game, it's definitely worth taking the extra few seconds to check for silvers.
Only because the chests are right in front of you. You would never leave GT ever to search for arrows because that
No,
time for it.
I would never like go kill Ice Armors looking for silvers. That's too
But
much.
if it falls in your lap and you don't open it, that's on you if they contain silvers. For this tournament. I mean, the top runners in the world are not looking for silvers here, but that's not what we're watching.
Top runners in the world actually would look for silvers here.
You think?
Yeah, Gamma's a big fluff fan. Some there are some other runners that I know that like just kind of open the chests that are on the way, just in case they do get silvers. But you need to keep in mind that silvers only really speeds up the Ganon fight by about 30 seconds. So,
Right.
like if you make say 10 checks, then that's 25 seconds that you spent making checks, and now that time that you save on the Ganon fight by finding them is mitigated a little bit.
Malchior with a choppy torch room, they didn't need that considering where Varoo is, but...
Around here we call that second first try.
Yeah.
Because every try is the first try.
Always tricky Aga 2 fight. I mean, show me the person in the world that has the perfect... There at least...
There is no one. There's no one that has a perfect Aga 2 fight. The best players in the world at this game are still like inconsistent at Aga 2. It's a really hard boss fight that you really need to practice a lot to get it down.
My first ever triple the other day. It's the one and only time I've ever gotten it. And it was more of an accident than an on-purpose situation, but...
Yeah, well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes, right?
That was me. Okay. Malchior needs to not fall.
Okay, Varoo kind of putting themselves out of position here, but is just gonna slash Ganon down and give up the first phase.
And do we have potion? I forget.
I believe Varoo has a blue potion. Yeah.
You gotta be a little careful with.
They went to buy potions before GT.
If you know Torch Glitch, just make sure you have potion coming out of phase 3. Otherwise, you will have to leave the fight.
Yeah, I think that's why they're leaving Burna on, is because they know that they have the magic recovery.
I definitely made that mistake recently. Keep your potion. Torch Glitch probably among the top of the. I guess unless you have silver. Is it true that the Torch Glitch actually is slower than silvers? Is that true?
So you don't necessarily want the Torch Glitch in the Silvers fight, because you want to be able to reliably freeze Ganon in the middle of the room. And I think I think it's better for you to go attack Ganon and let both torches go out so that you can get a silver arrow into him as soon as possible. Because if you're doing Torch Glitch, you're focusing on Torch Glitch. Like right here, like what Varoo's doing, that's how most people will do Torch Glitch. But if you had silvers, then you could have gotten a silver hit in at that point.
And the reason that you want to freeze Ganon in the middle is so that you can try to get a double arrow hit. Is that right?
Or even a triple arrow hit. You can actually get 4 arrows in on Ganon in one cycle. It is possible RTA.
I've never seen that.
There's a video of a task doing it, and I've seen a few people do it. Like I know Jem has done it in practice. Oh no! All right, well this race just got a lot closer.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say this is silverless, and so if Malchior is a god at silverless Ganon, then I mean it's not over.
Yeah, it's not over until the admins review the VODs.
And I learned, this is also a very helpful thing to know, because I did not know this until Sean or somebody told me last week, that the fire bats that Ganon shoots, only knock you off if you're moving. So if you get nervous, which it's very easy to get nervous in this fight, if you can sustain the hit and you're in a corner and you're nervous, just take your hand off the D-pad, and you'll take a few hearts damage, but you will absolutely not fall off. I didn't exactly see what happened to Varoo there, how they fell, but...
I mean, they just kind of walked off the edge. I think they were trying to dodge a bat and just kind of walked off the edge. And no longer has that blue potion in their pocket, so has to...
Sean!
Yeah, we use the blue. I believe it still has a red, but like you got to be careful of how much magic you use here.
Yeah. I mean, how many times do you have to light the torch with? You have 12 hits with tempered, right? So probably half
Yeah.
your
So
meter
if
you
you,
need.
I mean, if you, oh boy,
This is not good.
oh that's sus.
And does
That's not
Malchior
a
have?
dot.
Does Malchior have a potion?
I don't know, but it looks like he's got enough magic. You have half magic,
He's-
and like he could do a fire rod fight right now and be fine.
I love
But
that, and you are not
oh,
notified.
we do have another blue potion. Okay, we're fine.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, chat, or whoever figured that out. Oh, there's
Well,
the potion.
Varoo has it.
Oh, we can see it right there.
lit,
Thank you for
lit up.
Varoo
Yep.
for. Okay, well, if they did not, then that would have made this really nasty.
Wait, is that true? Is that true? Malchior got a 1-on-1. He did have butter sword, so it's a little bit easier. But that's still huge to get a 1-on-1 in your first race.
What a dream here, Sean. I mean, they are both on phase 4 of Silverless Ganon at the same time. This is nasty.
Yeah, that's and at different points it was looking like, you know, the one runner or the other was like super far ahead, and that's why you can't like that's why you gotta wait until the done comes in, because
Like those ESPN win probability charts in the fourth quarter, it goes back and forth like 100
oh yeah,
times. I mean,
yep.
this is I mean, Varoo's drop here.
Titans have a 99.9% chance to win. I don't how
I
could
mean,
they ever blow this 21
This is
point
insane.
lead?
Are they tied? Like, are they each like 5 hits in? What is this?
I don't think they're quite. I think Varoo's a little bit further into phase 4, but yeah, we're really close. We're gonna
This
have
is
very close finishes here.
this is the. I mean, I've been enjoying this whole time, but now I am actually on the edge of my seat, and my breath is.
Yeah.
This is insane. This is insane.
This is insane. Like you, close races like this are kind of rare. You usually see a dot done about 4 or 5 minutes before the other one. So yeah, this is a nice treat for our Sunday afternoon here.
Wow. Where did Ganon say the silvers were? You said the light world.
I believe he said tower, and that's an exploding pig. Get your GGs in
Varoo.
chat for Varoo, standing
Wow.
in the correct
Hey,
place
let me
to
clap
not
my hands. Very impressive.
fall on the bridge. I mean, but yeah, very well done by Malchior too. Oh boy, almost fell.
Took a
All right.
fall. Took a fall and still gets rewarded with the ice rod plunge. I mean,
Yeah,
incredible.
the ice rod play was exactly what they needed.
Wow. I'm guessing smart money is on Varoo coming in here thinking they were behind the entire race. So they're gonna be ecstatic to see how this played out, and I feel terrible for Malchior. But
Yeah. So we'll see. See if we can get some interviews. Our friendly neighborhood restreamer is definitely working on that. But we're gonna watch Malchior finish out this fight. So one piece of advice on Silverless Ganon: you don't ever want to point your sword at Ganon, because if you poke him, then it's not going to do damage.
Yeah, this is very tricky. A very important thing to learn, but very tricky to perfect. Kind of baiting the bat and then swooping around and back end.
Yeah. So you mentioned chess earlier. The movements that you want to take L-shaped movements. So Link is a knight, make him move like a knight.
Shout out to the horses in chess.
And the elephants. We call them bishops here.
These knights, as Hikaru calls them.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was falling. Okay,
It's hard for
just a hug.
Your fingers are clamping up. It's been 2 hours. You're a little upset about the ice rod. You just want this to be over. It really takes a lot of composure in these moments to just stay focused and get those last 2 hits in, or whatever you have. And
I feel like Malchior's been on this fight forever. Like I feel like he's
gotta be
gotten
1 or
more
2
than
left.
12 hits on here.
It's a shame
we've got to
that
be
Butter's
like
not.
1 hit away. There we go. All right, get your GGs in chat for Malchior, who will cross the bridge second. But we were on phase 4 at the same time, so the race was a lot closer than the clock is going to indicate. Right. Yeah, always remember to play your credits. It's technically a rule that I don't really see enforced all that much, but it is in the rules that you have to play your credits until it's
Don't
the
put the
end.
mods in a nasty spot of having to DQ someone for not rolling their
Yeah.
credits. We don't want to see that.
Like we have fast credits nowadays, so we don't have to wait for too long. It's only about 2 minutes rather than the 10 that it normally takes.
Yeah, the first time I let it play through, I was like, are they ever coming?
So it looks like we're getting at least one interview. Our friendly neighborhood restreamer going and
Hopefully both,
talking to
but
them
at
before
least one
coming
would be
in.
good.
Yeah, they're both in the green room. I think MAP's just talking to them a little bit. We may also get a mentor in here to translate. So usually for interviews, we only want the mentees to come in. But we understand that some people English is not their first language, or so we sometimes allow people to come in to translate.
And can I just say that that's amazing that we've got, so this is an international game, and it's amazing that so many different languages and nationalities are represented.
Yeah, it really is. It really is worldwide. We have a couple Australian runners and a bunch of like a big European community, and of course here in North America as well. So
Several German runners I saw signed up.
I believe Varoo is one of them because I know their mentor is.
Excellent.
Since when was fast credits a thing? They did a hot fix in like 2023 or 2022. I don't remember, but yeah. So the VT website hasn't been updated very recently, but yeah, that was in one of the more recent updates. As we are joined by both of our runners, GG's to everybody.
GG's, guys.
GG's.
That was intense to watch unfold.
Yeah, I still shaking.
Man. I'm shaking. I'm shaking.
Let's just set the table. I mean, you were both in Ice Rod Go mode and took very different paths to get there. Varoo with the TR plunge that paid off big time. I mean, I guess Varoo, let's start there. Why did you choose to go in the TR all the way to the back?
TR is sorry. I need a little translate for the shorts.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
TR is Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock. Yeah.
I just go the first route because it's similar to my training. I just only go this route, and so okay, I need to go this. And after I got the go mode, I tried my best to pick up the chest because I want the silver. So I got the pickup line in the cave. So I go out and in. If I die, I can respawn in the Turtle Rock and don't need to run it full. So, and all the chests I wanted because I didn't want to do again on silverless, but at the end I needed to do it. And yeah.
And you gave us one final heart attack with the fall that brought. I mean, you were both on phase 4 Ganon at the same time. I'll just say that.
What should I say? I was throwing my controller in my brain to do something. It was horrible to fall down like this.
Yeah. So have either of you done Silverless Ganon before?
That is my second ever.
Second ever?
First one done. I just training to practice to do it Silverless, but never done it.
Yeah, very well,
good job.
very well done. Fall notwithstanding, it's really hard to pull off something new in a race, and especially for it to be a winning play. So very good on that end.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And the only reason I got a first one ever is that I had to do a first one ever in practice. I got to the end of a scene. It's like, oh wait, I'll have silver yet. Oh no! And that was before I had a mentor.
So, Malchior, if I can, a similar question, but in the other way. You cleared Dark Death Mountain maybe 20 minutes before Varoo did, so you had your boots and your bow, but then you didn't go into Turtle Rock. I'm guessing that was strategic. I think you went to Meyer, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, after that. Or
And
Sean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Overworld. There was
Or
quite a
Yeah,
bit of
and
Overworld too.
In my mind and in my mentor's mind, there was going to be a double dip. I would have to leave the mountain anyway because I have to go back and get desert. I have to go back and get mire. So it's like either do TR last so you can go straight into GT, because if you do TR now, you have to climb again. So either way, you're doing a climb. Determine when you want to do that climb. And I said, I'll do that climb last.
Sure, and just hope that Ice Rod, just hope it's in Meyer maybe, or behind Helma.
As I had a lot left at that point in terms of crystal dungeons. It's like, all right, cleanup time. And I went cleanup mode. It's like finish pod, finish desert, finish mire. And it's like,
Well,
and
you drew the
he asked
line.
me, it's like, all right, you're at a roughly 50-50, Turtle Rock versus Smith Chain. What do you want to do? And the style that I play randomizers, even when I play Zelda 1 randomizer, is I like the full clear. I like determining everything, because leaving stuff behind and not finding out until, oh, I dug TR, but my ice rod was under purple chest would be horrible.
Sure,
I'm
I
so
mean,
glad I'm picking up the ferry in Myers.
a couple of
Yeah,
deaths, Varoo. You gave Sean and I multiple heart attacks.
I'm so sorry.
it's to be expected in your first race. After week 6, it'll be second nature to you. So, so speaking of, I believe we're at the end of week 1? Question mark. So how let's talk a little bit. We'll start with Varoo. Talk a little bit about the what you expected and what you versus what you got out of your mentoring experience.
From a mentoring experience, I'm very glad that I have it, cause the most parts I just go on YouTube, try to do the glitches. But with Tale on my side, she teach me a lot. I think we got most of the glitches I've done in like 1 week, like a blind script or something I've done in 2 days, and yeah, all the different other ways, the bomb jumps, the speed glitches with the hookshot or just master sword boots, and I was not expecting that. That's she teaching me this so good, so I can recommend her as a mentor if anyone outside one needs a mentor. Tale is very good, patient, perfect.
excellent.
I will second that recommendation. What about you, Malchior? How has your mentoring experience been so far?
It's been really good, and not just with my established mentor. Everyone in the Discord has been so welcoming. And here's the glitches, here's the tricks, here's the quick kills. I spent a solid 2 to 3 days just doing quick kills on the bosses and practicing them out. Lufthansa put me on that first, and then I watched the tutorials that y'all had on the tournament document and such. I was like, okay, because I knew bosses and GT was where I was losing the most time when I was first starting this game, and so I cleaned up the bosses. Still got to do some more work in the tower itself. But and then when I came over to mentor with Iceman, he's helped me work on my decision making and my routing. I'll be like, I got 3 checks here versus 5 here or 4 here, and he's like, your options are X, Y, or Z. Pick the one that you want to do, and then based on the items you see, determine from there or pivot if you have to.
Yeah, and I even shouted out Iceman. He's very good at that kind of thing. So you're definitely in good hands there. So with that, I believe we will wrap up this restream. I've been informed that there are a couple more races, so if you go to the schedule, there are multi-stream links on those if you want to watch them side by side. You can also watch them through racetime.gg if that is your preferred method of watching. Thank you all for running GG's again. Thank you, Dr. John, for
Man,
joining me in the commentary booth. You nailed it. It was great.
I can't imagine a better first seed. That was dramatic all the way to the final second. And shout out to the Discord and the community. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, put Bang Discord in the chat to see a link for the Go Mode Podcast Discord. And with that, thank you, Mr. Angry Pants, for putting this on, and thank you, Raynox, for tracking. See y'all.
See you guys.
No good one.
Yes, GG, see ya.